Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Learn Anna, Learn English Today.
Hi, friends. We're so glad you're joining us today for another helpful conversation.
Sam, can I be honest with you about something?
Of course. What's on your mind?
Well, last Monday, I promised myself I would wake up at 6 in the morning to study English before work. I set 3 alarms, prepared everything the night before, and felt really motivated.
It sounds like a great plan. So, what happened?
When the first alarm rang at 6 o'clock, I hit the snooze button. Then I hit it again and again. Before I knew it, it was 7:30 and I had to rush to work without any study time.
Oh, no. I've done that so many times. It's really frustrating when we have good intentions but can't follow through.
Exactly. And this isn't just about waking up early. I also promised myself I would practice speaking English for 20 minutes every day. But I only did it twice last week.
I understand completely. I think most people struggle with this. We set goals, we feel excited at first, but then we lose momentum and give up.
So, today we want to talk about self discipline. What is it? Why is it so difficult? And most importantly, how can we develop it and stick to our goals?
This conversation will be helpful not just for learning English, but for any area of your life where you want to improve: fitness, work, relationships, or personal growth.
And if you're enjoying this conversation and want to improve your English with us, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel. It helps us create more content for you.
Yes, and turn on notifications so you never miss our new videos. Now, let's dive into this important topic.
Anna, let's start with a basic question. What exactly is self-discipline?
That's a great question. I think self-discipline is the ability to control your actions, emotions, and impulses to achieve your goals, even when you don't feel like it.
That's a good definition. It's about doing what you know you should do, not just what you feel like doing in the moment.
Exactly. For example, imagine you're learning English and you promised yourself you would study every evening after dinner. But tonight, you're tired and your favorite TV show is on.
Ah, this is the moment of truth. Self-discipline is choosing to study English for at least a short time, even though you really want to watch TV.
Right. It's making the choice that aligns with your long-term goals, not your short-term desires.
I think many people misunderstand what discipline means. They think it's about being strict, harsh, or punishing yourself.
I used to think that too, but actually discipline is about freedom. When you have discipline, you have the freedom to achieve your dreams.
That's a beautiful way to think about it. If you want to speak English fluently, discipline gives you the freedom to travel, work internationally, or communicate with people from around the world.
And if you want to be healthy, discipline in eating and exercise gives you the freedom to have energy, feel good, and live longer.
So, discipline isn't about restriction, it's about creating the life you really want.
Exactly. But here's the challenge. Our brains are wired to prefer immediate pleasure over delayed rewards. This makes discipline very difficult.
What do you mean by that?
Well, our brains evolved to seek quick rewards. Thousands of years ago, if our ancestors found food, they ate it immediately because they didn't know when they would find food again.
I see. So, our brains naturally want instant gratification, not long term benefits.
Exactly. When you choose to study English instead of watching TV, you're fighting against this natural instinct. The TV gives you pleasure right now, but studying gives you benefits in the future.
That explains why discipline is so hard. We're literally working against our brain's natural programming.
Yes, but the good news is that we can train our brains. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes.
Sam, a lot of people confuse discipline with motivation, but they're actually very different things.
Oh, really? I always thought they were similar. Can you explain the difference?
Sure, motivation is a feeling. It's that excitement and energy you get when you start something new. For example, on January 1st, many people feel motivated to go to the gym, learn a new language, or start a new project.
Yes, New Year's resolutions. Everyone feels so motivated and optimistic at the beginning of the year.
Exactly. But what happens a few weeks later? The motivation fades, the excitement disappears, and most people give up on their goals.
That's so true. I've seen this pattern many times. I start with huge enthusiasm, but then I lose interest and quit.
This is why we can't rely on motivation alone. Motivation is temporary and unpredictable. Some days you feel motivated, other days you don't.
So, what's the solution? How can we achieve our goals if motivation disappears?
That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is not a feeling, it's a commitment. It's doing what you need to do regardless of how you feel.
Ah, I understand. So, discipline is more reliable than motivation because it doesn't depend on your emotions.
Exactly. Let me give you an example. Imagine a professional athlete who trains every single day.
Okay, I'm imagining an Olympic swimmer or a marathon runner.
Do you think this athlete feels motivated every single day? Do they wake up every morning excited and energetic to train for hours?
Probably not. I imagine some days they're tired, sore, or just not in the mood.
Exactly. But they train anyway. They don't wait to feel motivated. They have discipline and commitment to their goals.
So the difference is that motivation is what gets you started, but discipline is what keeps you going.
Perfect. That's a great way to summarize it. Motivation can be helpful to begin, but discipline is what matters for long-term success.
This is really helpful to understand. So when I'm learning English, I shouldn't wait until I feel motivated to study. I should just do it consistently, whether I feel like it or not.
Exactly. Some days you'll enjoy studying and feel engaged. Other days it will feel boring or difficult. But if you study consistently, regardless of your mood, you'll make real progress.
I like this. It takes the pressure off. I don't have to feel excited or motivated all the time. I just need to show up and do the work.
That's the spirit. And the interesting thing is, when you practice discipline regularly, you often start to feel motivated again. Action creates motivation, not the other way around.
Really? So if I start studying even when I don't feel motivated, the motivation might come back?
Yes, when you see yourself making progress and building a consistent habit, you naturally feel more motivated and confident.
Anna, I have a confession to make. Whenever I try to build discipline, I start with huge, ambitious goals.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, last year I decided I wanted to get in shape, so I made a plan to exercise for 90 minutes every single day, eat perfectly healthy with no sugar or processed food, and go to bed at 9 o'clock every night.
Wow, that's a very ambitious plan. How long did you stick to it?
3 days.
3 days?
Yes. On the fourth day, I was exhausted, hungry, and frustrated. I gave up completely and went back to my old habits.
This is such a common mistake. When people decide to change, they often try to change everything at once. It's too overwhelming.
I know, but I thought that making big changes would give me big results faster.
I understand the logic, but it usually doesn't work that way. The problem with huge goals is that they require enormous willpower and effort. After a few days, you run out of energy and give up.
So, what's the alternative? Should I just set small goals and accept slow progress?
Yes, small goals lead to big results over time. There's a powerful concept called tiny habits or micro habits.
Tiny habits? What does that mean?
It means making the habit so small and easy that you can't say no to it. Instead of committing to 90 minutes of exercise, commit to just 5 minutes.
5 minutes? But that's so little. How will I get results from only 5 minutes of exercise?
That's the beautiful part. When you commit to something very small, you actually do it consistently. And consistency is more important than intensity.
I'm not sure I understand. Can you explain more?
Sure, let's say you commit to 5 minutes of exercise every day. Because it's only 5 minutes, it's easy to do. You don't need much motivation or willpower, so you do it every single day without fail.
Okay, so I build a consistent habit of exercising daily.
Exactly. And here's what happens. After a few weeks, the 5 minutes becomes automatic. It's part of your routine. And often, once you start, you naturally do more than 5 minutes because you're already dressed and moving.
Oh, I see. So the 5 minutes is just to get started, but once I start, I usually continue.
Exactly. The hardest part is always starting. Once you overcome the initial resistance, it's easier to keep going.
This makes so much sense. So, for learning English, instead of committing to study for an hour every day, I should commit to just 5 or 10 minutes?
Yes, make it so easy that you can do it even on your busiest, most tired days. The goal is to never break the chain of consistency.
I love this. It feels much more achievable. What are some other examples of tiny habits?
Well, if you want to read more books in English, commit to reading just 1 page per day. If you want to practice speaking, commit to speaking 1 sentence out loud in English every day.
1 page, 1 sentence? Those sound almost too easy.
That's exactly the point. They should feel easy. Because when something feels easy, you'll actually do it. And once you do it consistently for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, it becomes automatic.
And once it's automatic, I can gradually increase the amount if I want to.
Exactly. Once the habit is established, you can build on it. But the foundation is consistency, and tiny habits make consistency possible.
Sam, I want to talk about another important concept, the difference between goals and systems.
Goals and systems. Aren't they the same thing?
No, they're quite different. Let me explain. A goal is an outcome you want to achieve. For example, I want to speak English fluently is a goal.
Okay, so what's a system then?
A system is the process you follow to achieve that goal. It's the daily actions and habits that move you toward your goal.
Can you give me an example of a system for learning English?
Sure, a system might be every morning at 7 o'clock, I will practice English for 15 minutes. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I'll watch an English video. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll practice speaking. On Fridays, I'll review new vocabulary.
Ah, I see. So the goal is what you want, and the system is how you get there.
Exactly. And here's the important part. If you focus only on goals, you'll often fail. But if you focus on systems, you'll succeed.
Really? Why is that?
Because goals are about the destination, but systems are about the journey. If you only focus on the goal, you're always thinking about what you don't have yet. This can be frustrating and demotivating.
I've definitely felt that frustration. I look at fluent English speakers and think, I'm so far from that level. This is hopeless.
Exactly. But if you focus on your system, your daily practice, then every day you follow your system is a success, regardless of your current level.
Oh, that's a much healthier mindset. So even if I'm still a beginner, if I follow my system today, I'm successful today.
Exactly. The goal is just a direction. The system is what actually gets you there. And the beautiful thing about systems is that they work for any goal.
What do you mean?
Well, imagine two people who have the same goal, to become fluent in English. Person A focuses on the goal. They think about it constantly, feel frustrated with their progress, and study inconsistently when they feel motivated.
And person B?
Person B forgets about the goal and focuses on the system. They practice English for 20 minutes every single morning, no matter what. They don't worry about when they'll become fluent, they just follow the system.
Oh, and I'm guessing person B actually achieves fluency faster.
Exactly, because they're taking consistent action every day. The goal will naturally happen as a result of the system.
This is so helpful. So instead of constantly worrying about my English level, I should just focus on practicing consistently.
Yes, trust the system. If you practice regularly with good methods, fluency will come. It's just a matter of time.
I feel relieved hearing this. It takes the pressure off and makes improvement feel more manageable.
That's exactly right. Systems reduce anxiety because you know exactly what to do each day. You're not overwhelmed by the big goal. You just follow today's part of the system.
Anna, even when I know what I should do and I have a good system, sometimes I still procrastinate. Why does this happen?
Procrastination is such a common problem. Almost everyone struggles with it. Let's talk about why we procrastinate and how to overcome it.
I really need help with this. Sometimes I have the whole day free to study English, but I keep delaying it. I tell myself I'll do it in an hour, over and over until the day is gone.
I've done exactly the same thing. Procrastination is not about laziness, it's actually about avoiding uncomfortable emotions.
Uncomfortable emotions? What do you mean?
Well, think about when you procrastinate on studying English. What are you feeling in that moment?
I guess I feel a bit anxious. I'm worried that I won't understand the material, or that I'll make mistakes, or that it will be boring.
Exactly. You're feeling anxiety, fear of failure, or anticipating boredom. So your brain says, let's avoid this uncomfortable feeling by doing something easier and more pleasant.
So I check social media, watch videos, or clean my room instead of studying.
Right. Cleaning your room is productive, but it's also procrastination if you're using it to avoid the more important task.
I never thought about it this way. So procrastination is my brain trying to protect me from uncomfortable feelings.
Exactly. Your brain is trying to keep you comfortable in the short term, even though it hurts you in the long term.
So how do I overcome this? How do I stop procrastinating?
First, recognize what's happening. When you notice yourself procrastinating, pause and ask yourself, what uncomfortable feeling am I trying to avoid right now?
Okay, so I identify the feeling, then what?
Then remind yourself that the feeling is temporary and that it's okay to feel uncomfortable. Growth happens outside your comfort zone.
But what if the task really is difficult or boring?
Then make it smaller. Remember tiny habits? If studying for an hour feels overwhelming, commit to just 5 minutes. Tell yourself, I'll study for just 5 minutes and then I can stop if I want.
And I'm guessing that once I start, I usually continue beyond 5 minutes.
Exactly. Starting is the hardest part. Once you start, momentum takes over. But even if you only do 5 minutes, that's better than 0 minutes.
This is really helpful. Any other tips for dealing with procrastination?
Yes, use the 2 minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Don't put it on your to do list or think about it. Just do it right away.
That makes sense. And what about bigger tasks that take more than 2 minutes?
Break them into smaller pieces. Instead of study English, make it specific. Read one page of my English book or watch a 5 minute English video.
Oh, I like that. Specific small tasks feel much more manageable than vague big tasks.
Exactly. Vague tasks create anxiety because you don't know where to start. Specific tasks are much easier to begin. Sam, there's something important I realized about discipline. Your environment has a huge impact on your behavior.
What do you mean by environment?
I mean, your physical surroundings and the people around you. If your environment supports your goals, discipline becomes much easier.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's say your goal is to practice English every morning. If your English book is on a shelf in another room, you have to make an effort to get it. But if you put the book on your nightstand, you see it as soon as you wake up.
Ah, so you're making it easier to do the right thing.
Exactly. This is called environment design. You design your environment to support your good habits and make bad habits harder.
What are some other examples?
Well, if you want to practice listening to English, you could put your headphones next to your coffee maker. When you make your morning coffee, you'll see the headphones and remember to listen to an English podcast.
That's clever. So you're creating visual reminders.
Yes, visual cues are very powerful. Out of sight, out of mind. If you can see something, you're more likely to do it.
What about bad habits? How do you make them harder?
You remove the temptation from your environment. For example, if you always get distracted by your phone when you should be studying, put your phone in another room.
Ah, so I can't easily access the distraction.
Exactly. If you have to get up, walk to another room, and find your phone, you'll probably think twice about it. But if the phone is right next to you, you'll grab it without thinking.
This makes so much sense. What about the people in our environment? How do they affect discipline?
Great question. The people around you have a huge influence on your behavior.
If all your friends spend their free time watching TV and playing games, you'll probably do the same.
But if my friends are studying languages or working on personal projects, I'll be more motivated to do the same.
Exactly. We naturally adapt to the behavior of the people we spend time with. This is why it's so important to choose your social environment carefully.
So if I want to improve my English, I should try to spend time with people who are also learning English or who speak English well?
Yes, join English conversation groups, find a language exchange partner, or participate in online English communities. When you surround yourself with English learners, you'll feel more motivated and accountable.
I never thought about how much my environment affects my discipline. This is really eye-opening.
It's one of the most underrated aspects of building discipline. People try to rely on willpower alone, but if your environment is working against you, it's an uphill battle.
So by designing my environment well, I make discipline easier and more automatic.
Exactly. You're removing friction from good habits and adding friction to bad habits. This way, the right choice becomes the easy choice. Sam, there's one more powerful tool for building discipline that we should talk about: accountability.
Accountability? You mean having someone check on your progress?
Yes, when you know someone else is watching or expecting you to follow through, you're much more likely to do it.
That's so true. I'm much better at going to the gym when I have a workout partner. If I'm alone, I often skip it. But if someone is waiting for me, I always go.
Exactly. This is the power of social accountability. We don't want to let other people down, so we push ourselves harder than we would alone.
How can this work for learning English? Should I find an English study partner?
That's a great idea. You could find a language exchange partner or join an English conversation group. When you have scheduled meetings with others, you're much more likely to show up.
What if I can't find a study partner? Are there other ways to create accountability?
Yes, you can share your goals publicly on social media. Tell your friends and family that you're committing to practice English every day. When you make a public commitment, you feel more pressure to follow through.
I like that idea, but I'm a bit scared of public commitment. What if I fail and everyone knows?
That's a valid concern, but actually, the fear of public failure is what makes this method so effective. You'll work harder to avoid that embarrassment.
That's true. But what if I do fail? Won't people judge me?
Most people are supportive, not judgmental. They respect your effort to improve. And if you do have a setback, just be honest about it. Everyone struggles sometimes.
Okay, so I could post on social media that I'm committing to practice English for 15 minutes every day, and then share my progress regularly.
Exactly. Or you could do it privately with just one friend. Ask a friend to check in with you once a week and ask about your English practice.
I like the private option better. Less pressure, but still some accountability.
That works too. The key is to have someone who will actually ask you about it, not just someone who says good luck but never follows up.
What if I want even more structure? Are there other accountability methods?
Yes, you can use accountability apps or join online communities. There are apps where you can track your habits and share your streak with others.
Streak? What's that?
A streak is the number of consecutive days you've done something. For example, I've practiced English for 20 days in a row. That's a 20-day streak.
Ah, and once you have a long streak, you don't want to break it.
Exactly. The longer your streak gets, the more motivated you are to keep it going. It becomes a challenge to see how long you can maintain it.
That sounds fun. It turns discipline into a game.
Yes, gamification is a powerful motivator. When you can track your progress visually and compete with yourself, it becomes more engaging.
I'm going to start tracking my English practice streak today. I want to see how many days in a row I can practice.
That's the spirit. Just remember, if you do break your streak, don't give up entirely. Just start a new streak the next day. Handling failure and setbacks.
Sam, what if I try all these strategies, but I still fail? What if I break my streak or give up on my habits?
That's a really important question. Setbacks are a normal part of building discipline. Everyone experiences them. The key is how you respond to failure.
What do you mean? What's the right way to respond?
The wrong way is to use one failure as an excuse to quit completely. For example, if you miss one day of English practice, don't think, well, I already broke my streak, so I might as well give up.
But I do that all the time. One missed day turns into a week, then a month, and then I've quit completely.
This is called the what the hell effect. One small mistake makes you feel like a failure, so you say, what the hell, and abandon all your efforts.
Yes, that's exactly what happens to me. So how do I prevent this?
By treating setbacks as isolated incidents, not as signs of total failure. If you miss one day, that's okay. The important thing is to start again immediately the next day.
So I shouldn't be hard on myself.
Being hard on yourself doesn't help. Self-criticism usually leads to giving up, not to improvement. Instead, be kind but firm with yourself.
What does that mean? Kind but firm.
Kind means you acknowledge that setbacks happen and don't judge yourself harshly. Firm means you don't use the setback as an excuse to quit. You get back on track immediately.
Can you give me an example?
Sure, I was sick yesterday and needed to rest. That's okay. Today I'm feeling better, so I'll practice today.
And a bad response would be,
I'm such a failure. I'll never learn English. That kind of self-talk is destructive and usually leads to quitting.
I recognize that harsh self-talk. I'm very critical of myself.
Many people are, but self-compassion leads to resilience and persistence, not weakness.
So setbacks are learning opportunities, not failures.
Exactly. Focus on consistency and progress, not perfection. Part 10. Creating a morning routine. Sam, one strategy that really boosts discipline is having a solid morning routine.
Why is the morning so important?
Because how you start your day sets the tone for the rest of it. A disciplined morning leads to a disciplined day.
What should a good morning routine include?
First, wake up at a consistent time every day, even on weekends.
Even on weekends?
Yes, consistency improves sleep quality and energy levels.
What else?
Avoid checking your phone immediately. It puts other people's priorities before yours.
But my alarm is on my phone.
Use a separate alarm clock. That removes the temptation.
So what should I do instead?
Do something energizing. Meditation, exercise, journaling, reading.
And English practice?
Absolutely. Morning is one of the best times to practice English because your mind is fresh and your willpower is high.